150 sailors, one steel tube, 90 days underwater, no escape. But here's what keeps them alive. It's not the official regulations. It's the unwritten rules, passed down through generations, enforced through tradition, and more binding than any Navy manual ever written. Break these rules, and you won't just be disliked. You'll be marked as someone who doesn't belong, someone who can't be trusted when things go wrong 400 feet below the surface. Chapter 1. Never slam a door. This is the most sacred rule aboard any submarine. Someone is always sleeping. The boat operates 24 hours a day with rotating watch schedules. When you're off duty, you're trying to rest in a hot, cramped berthing compartment with 40 other guys. The only thing between you and exhaustion is silence. Slam a door and the sound travels through the entire hull like a bell. It wakes everyone. And in a place where sleep is the only escape from confinement, that's unforgivable. Every hatch, every door, every cabinet, closed deliberately, slowly, with full awareness of how sound carries through steel. New sailors learn this fast. Violate it once, you get a warning. Violate it twice, and your shipmates will make sure you understand. Even officers who ignore other customs respect this rule absolutely. Because on a submarine, your ability to rest directly affects your ability to stand watch, make decisions, and respond in emergencies. This isn't courtesy, it's survival. Chapter 2. Silence near sleeping quarters. Building on the no-slamming rule, submarine crews observe strict sound discipline anywhere near berthing areas. Voices stay low, footfalls are deliberate and light. Anything that creates unnecessary noise gets shut down immediately. The boat is filled with machinery noise, ventilation systems, pumps, the constant hum of equipment. The only respite comes from darkness and quiet in the berthing spaces. A sailor who can rest well is a sailor who can function under pressure. Veterans can navigate through passageways in complete darkness without making a sound. They know which deck plates creak, which hatches squeak, and exactly how to move without disturbing anyone. New sailors, called nubs for non-useful bodies, have to learn this through observation. Nobody teaches it in training. You watch, you adapt, or you get corrected by someone who's been doing this for years. Violate this rule consistently, and you mark yourself as someone who doesn't understand submarine culture, someone who won't be trusted with critical responsibilities when it matters. Chapter 3. No politics, ever. Political discussions are explicitly forbidden aboard submarines, not discouraged. Forbidden. You've got 120 to 150 people from every region, background and ideology crammed together for months. One heated political argument could fracture the unit cohesion that keeps everyone alive. The rule is so deeply embedded that even passionate political debates ashore become completely off-limits once the boat is underway. Senior leaders and junior sailors alike understand this isn't about suppressing free speech. It's recognition that political division in a submarine at sea is a casualty waiting to happen. You can talk about sports, you can argue about movies, music, food, but the moment someone brings up politics, the conversation gets shut down. Fast. Because when you're 400 feet underwater and something goes wrong, you need to trust the person next to you completely. Political differences can't be allowed to create doubt, resentment, or hesitation. This rule has kept submarine crews unified through every election, every controversy, every national debate for decades, and it's not going anywhere. Chapter 4. The Submarine Shuffle. In passageways so narrow that two people can't pass without turning sideways, submarine crews have developed an unspoken dance of movement. Sailors bend, duck, and weave with practiced efficiency. When two people meet in a corridor, both understand the subtle etiquette of who yields and how to squeeze past without contact or confrontation. This isn't just politeness, it's practical problem-solving repeated thousands of times per patrol. Veterans can navigate blindfolded through passageways and know instinctively where to position themselves to avoid collision. New sailors struggle with this at first. They stand in the wrong place, block traffic, or move awkwardly. But they learn fast because the alternative is constant friction with everyone around them. The submarine shuffle reflects a deeper respect for shared space and personal boundaries. In an environment where you're constantly within arm's reach of someone else, these small courtesies become essential to maintaining sanity. Chapter 5. Operational silence. What happens aboard a submarine stays aboard a submarine. What the submarine does remains classified and unspoken, even among crews and family members. Submariners are bound by classification and operational security, but they're equally bound by a deeper cultural code. Specifics about how the boat operates, what it's capable of, where it goes, or what it does on patrol are never discussed. This extends to ship names, mission details, and any information that could be aggregated to reveal operational patterns. The phrase "the silent service" doesn't just refer to stealth. It refers to a community that keeps its own counsel about its work. Even decades later, submarine veterans won't discuss certain patrols if they remain operationally sensitive. Men in their 70s and 80s still keep secrets about missions they ran during the Cold War. This silence isn't paranoia, it's discipline. Because adversaries don't need perfect intelligence, they need fragments. And submariners understand that casual conversations can reveal patterns that put future crews at risk. Chapter 6. Respect the hot rack. Junior sailors on attack submarines often hot rack, sharing a bunk with two other sailors on rotating shifts. Each person uses the same mattress and sheets in succession. The mattress is still warm from its previous occupant. The sheets smell like someone else. And you've got maybe 6 hours before you have to vacate for the next guy. The unwritten rule is simple. When it's your time to sleep, you sleep without complaint. When it's your time to vacate, you do so promptly and quietly so the next sailor can rest. This practice is standard on attack submarines where space is at an absolute premium. It's not temporary or emergency. It's how junior sailors live for the entire patrol. Respecting this system and understanding that every sailor deserves uninterrupted rest is a basic measure of maturity. Complain about hot racking, and you mark yourself as someone who doesn't understand the realities of submarine life. Chapter 7. The 3-minute shower. Submariners live by strict water run time, the amount of time one person can use fresh water before the system must be cycled for the next user. Taking a long shower isn't just inconsiderate. It's seen as a violation of the principle that every sailor's needs matter equally. The standard is 3 to 5 minutes maximum. Turn on the water, get wet, turn it off, soap up, turn the water back on, rinse off, done. Even senior officers adhere to this rule. New sailors learn very quickly that exceeding the time limit marks them as selfish and disrespectful. This rule is enforced through social pressure, not regulation. Violate it once or twice and you'll hear about it from your crew. Keep violating it and you'll find yourself isolated from the informal networks that make submarine life tolerable. Because on a submarine, resources are finite. Water, food, air, space, everything is rationed and shared. Taking more than your fair share of anything is a fundamental breach of trust. Chapter 8. Formality during critical evolutions. Submarine culture is notably informal compared to the surface navy. Officers and junior sailors often interact with casual familiarity during routine operations. But this informality completely disappears during watch rotations, diving operations, damage control drills, or any evolution that affects boat safety or mission success. During maneuvering watch or critical shipboard evolutions, formality reigns supreme with zero tolerance for jokes or casual behavior. Everyone performs at their highest level and follows procedure exactly. This flexibility, informality in routine situations but laser-focused discipline in critical moments is a hallmark of submarine culture. It separates mature sailors from those who can't adapt. The ability to switch instantly from casual conversation to absolute professionalism is expected of everyone, regardless of rank. Miss that transition, and you'll be corrected immediately. Chapter 9. Mutual respect across ranks. Submariners operate with an unwritten code of mutual respect that's unusual in the military. A clear chain of command always exists, but junior sailors are expected to speak up if they see a senior officer making a mistake, particularly in technical matters or damage control. And senior leaders are expected to listen. This doesn't mean disrespect or insubordination. It means the best idea wins, not the highest rank, because lives depend on getting decisions right. A junior sonarman who understands his system better than a department head can and will offer input, and that input will be heard, weighed, and often accepted. This egalitarianism in competence-driven situations contrasts sharply with formality during emergencies. It's a defining feature of high-performing crews and reflects the reality that on a submarine, everyone's expertise matters. Chapter 10. Personal responsibility is non-negotiable. Submarine culture is built on personal responsibility that runs deeper than any other military community. Every sailor understands that 120 other human beings depend on them to do their job correctly, maintain their systems, stay alert, and report problems immediately. There's no room for "I didn't know." Every sailor is responsible for learning the entire submarine, not just their own specialty, because in an emergency, any crew member might be called upon to execute damage control or respond to a crisis in an unfamiliar system. This radical personal accountability creates a bond of trust born not of sentimentality but of absolute necessity. You trust your shipmates because you've seen them demonstrate competence, discipline, and commitment under pressure. Fail to meet this standard and you won't just be criticized. You'll be removed from the boat, because submarine commanders can't afford to have anyone aboard who isn't fully committed to the mission and the crew. Chapter 11. Earning your dolphins. New sailors aboard submarines are called nubs, non-useful bodies. They're treated with deliberate skepticism until they prove their worth. The path to earning the coveted Dolphins insignia takes roughly 1 year and involves studying every system on the submarine. Not just your own specialty, but nuclear reactors, navigation, torpedo systems, and all damage control pathways. The qualification board is feared because it's comprehensive and unforgiving. Board members ask random, detailed questions about systems you'll never operate. They assess both technical knowledge and judgment under pressure. Once you earn your Dolphins and are officially qualified in submarines, you transition from nub status to full crew member. The respect accorded to you changes immediately. Dolphins represent not just technical competence, but proof that you've internalized submarine culture and can be trusted with the lives of everyone aboard. The tradition of tacking on the Dolphins, where senior submariners punch the newly qualified sailor's badge in a gesture of rough acceptance, is officially discouraged but universally practiced. It physically marks the transition from outsider to insider. Chapter 12. Accept the sacrifice. The deepest unwritten rule is acceptance of the reality that submarine service demands. Submarine sailors and their families understand from the start that communication will be minimal, that patrol lengths are months long, that much of the work will never be discussed, and that the person departing on a submarine is choosing to step outside normal life for extended periods. This isn't a complaint or topic for negotiation, it's the price of entry into the silent service. Sailors who can't accept this reality are identified early and redirected to other communities, because submarine service requires a specific mindset: the ability to function in isolation, confinement, and silence without breaking. These unwritten rules aren't arbitrary traditions. They're the evolved wisdom of a community that has learned, through decades of operations, what allows people to live and fight effectively in one of the most dangerous environments humans willingly enter. They reflect a bond built on mutual respect, shared sacrifice, and the absolute understanding that individual discipline and group cohesion are matters of life and death. Submarine tradition encompasses all of this. A code of honor that says every sailor matters, every job is critical, silence is sacred, and the person sleeping in the bunk next to you deserves the same respect you give yourself. Because you are, quite literally, all in the same boat. Submariners often describe their community as a family forged not by blood but by months of shared hardship, confinement, and absolute mutual dependence. And these unwritten rules are the binding code that makes that family possible. We are committed to releasing 3 videos a week. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more Anchor Watch.